Welcome to the Sure to Quit Sam High endorsed Stop Smoking Program. At last, a show me how approach to stop smoking. Smoking cessation programs tend to have a lot of theory and people telling us things that we knew and trying to use scare tactics, but they did not seem to understand the personal war that wages with this demon. And so we developed the Sure to Quit Stop Smoking Program with exactly this in mind, a program that keeps the client engaged and that keeps the client focused in the process while we work with them to stop smoking. We help them break the habit and we keep the client motivated. If we have to understand the effects of stress and the effects of anxiety in the stop smoking progress, and then we use our training and our skills and our understanding to help our clients in the process to stop smoking. Okay, so this training module is written in a third-person narrative, so that it can be used very, very quickly and it can be used convincingly. It can also be used directly as if it were a course itself. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. One is to learn how to use the tools, and two is it allows you to be able to apply these tools. The approach gives us the foundation to build on. So it uses the techniques of suggestion. You can also use your other tools that you're familiar with as a SAMA student, the golden hoop or mirroring, or you can use the techniques of the family. You can use going to the movie house, whichever is those is your preferred method. But these you will follow on and you will use those to build on. So whatever approach you take, these can be modeled around this introductory framework that we are supplying here. So this Sure to Quit, or the S2Q, is recommended as the first session when working with the client. So you'll be able to use it as an intake as well. But it also gives them a certain kind of belief or confidence in the understanding or the knowing that there is a process to be followed. And of course, typically clients expect some kind of a trance, and so all of these will have to be built in. So your first session may actually take you a little bit longer than usual. I would probably recommend an hour and a half for this session, where your Sure to Quit foundation program probably takes you 45 minutes to get through, and then allow yourself your 20 or your 30 minutes to go through an induction and to have some kind of suggestion. The Sure to Quit is a hands-on approach to freeing ourselves of being addicted. We use advanced conversational hypnosis techniques in the patter, and combined with CBT or cognitive behavior techniques, it is very, very structured. And always remember, people are the agent of their own change. So what is this? This is an organized and structured assault on the smoking demon. It's a battle plan to rid ourselves of this unwanted intruder permanently. Notice I'm using these military terms, but that's because it is something we want to get rid of. We will equip ourselves with the necessary tools because that's what we need. We've got to have something to fight back. We always are the poor shame ones. We need something to fight back. So the necessary tools to stop smoking and to fight back, to regain our freedom, and to rid ourselves of the fear of stop smoking. People hold back. There's just a fear in them. Fear of withdrawal symptoms, fear of failure. We need not be afraid of these. Willpower. How often have we heard that word? That's, oh, I wish I could stop. I wish I had the willpower. Well, as a hypnotherapist, there's something you could probably help people with a lot. But we have helped many people. And just follow my guide. Willpower. We've seen lots of people stop smoking, and we can speak to individuals, and a lot of them will tell you about people that they know, and so about people who they probably don't think are of their social stature or of this or of that, but yet now how can one person be better than the other? Is this person suddenly blessed with all this additional willpower, or is there something more to it? I believe that what we're looking for here is we're looking for desire. If people have a desire, so let's say there's a desire. Yes, I have a desire to stop smoking. I am here, I'm attending the course, I've come to see a therapist, I have a desire to stop smoking. Is there a method? Is there structure to this? Yes, there is structure. There is the Sure to Quit method, and then your regular hypnosis skills and program, which you will follow this with, which will create the final pegs of the method. Is there motive? Now, that's going to be one of the biggest tricks, because you know, as a hypnotherapist, that is the key to unlocking things. But we're not going to go here now and do analytical hypnotherapy to discover this This is not what this is about. We are actually going to help the individual themselves to unlock that, which will be extremely important because we need to help them overcome the fear. The fear of giving up, of what we think we will miss, the fear of withdrawal and the fear of the symptoms, the fear of failure, and the fear of ridicule. I just want to say one more thing about this giving up. We must be very clear that we are getting rid of. Giving up implies an emotion. And this emotion is an emotion of sympathy. It's an emotion of, oh, I'm giving this up. Something that I'm very bonded to, something I'm very dear, and something I'm going to miss. I want to be quite direct and say, no, we're not going to miss you, dude. We're not going to miss this at all. So what are the rules? These rules are very, very simple. Celebrate the joy of your decision to stop smoking. Said over and over again from all the experts in the field. Get angry. They all feel the same way. Come out of a state of denial. Come out of the state of, I am an addictive personality. Oh, I wish I could. Oh, I'm not one who is addicted. Oh, I only need to smoke 2 cigarettes a day. Let me tell you, that's probably the most difficult people to have to give up smoking because they believe that they're in control. One of the rules is it's not always going to be easy. Follow the process. You notice I paused there. Remind yourself that you will enjoy being a non-smoker. It's quite amazing when you start getting onto this journey how much you actually begin to enjoy not smoking. And every day, every moment, every second becomes a major enjoyment, a major satisfaction. It's wonderful. Never envy a smoker again. Remember that the care and the support that I have on this journey, remember you have family and people who do care for you. And remind yourself of your personal reasons for wanting to stop smoking. All right, let me start getting into some of the more meaty part of this. The things I don't or I do not like about smoking. As I said, grab a piece of paper. There it is, your list. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people's lists might be 25 long. People have different lists for different reasons. Oh, it's socially unacceptable. I don't like the smell. I don't like cleaning the ashtrays, etc. So there's a list that we can build on here. And we have people write a list because the start of any of these processes, as with any goal setting, is to write down and to list what the pros and the cons. Really what we're going to do, because we're going to look at the things that we don't like about smoking. So notice I'm kicking off on this foot because people are probably here because they want to stop smoking. So there must be something they don't like about it. So let's try explore what these are. And here we encourage to think about those things. As I said, I don't like the smell. I don't like having to be socially removed. I don't like standing in the ice cold. I don't like cleaning the ashtrays. I don't like the coughing. I don't like the wheezing. I don't like the price. The price. Look, it's become extremely expensive now. So once you've done your list, we then have to look at the things I do like about smoking. Well, you must like something about smoking, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. And we don't hear people say, "Ooh, I like smoking so much." You really don't hear people say, "You know, God, I smoke 40. I wish I could smoke 50. I wish I could smoke 60. I must get my ante up here. I'd like to do that." People tend to be the other way around, don't they? It's oh no, I only smoke. I only smoke. I only. It's much like when people want to stop smoking. There's always 2 damn you moments. One is a damn you, or damn it, I'm in control and I'll have one. That's a damning moment. It's a damning statement. So let's list the things that I do like about smoking. Maybe I like smoking in the car. Maybe I like smoking when I go to work. Some people call this your trigger list, but it's not always. Triggers are not always things that you enjoy doing. Sometimes triggers can be born out of a negative. However, just list here the things that you do like about your smoking. Typically, as a pros and cons, you're going to find, of course, that one outweighs the other when you look at the 2. But there's got to be a reason why you carry on smoking, so you must like it. Maybe it's a social aspect. But, there again, you got to think. I often use the term, well, misery loves company. Often think about that. Think about the clique that hangs around the water cooler. That's misery loves company. You're no longer part of that clique. Whereas if you, let's say, in a home or a social environment, you'll have far more support. You'll have people who will be supportive and who want you to be part of their group. So there's also that little bit of tribalism that comes in about smoking. So be aware of that, and be aware that it's one of the things you're going to have to and consciously move away from it, and devise a strategy almost as to how am I going to deal with that. Now let's look at what is on my emotive radar. And here, I once heard one of the hypnotherapists say, well, you've got to think of all the negative emotion and all the things that come to mind. And that can be quite tearful, but those will be sprung anyway. The gateway to them is just sit down and list the scares that have happened. List the scares that have happened to me or to someone close to me. Or list any concerns that I have. I know that when I smoked, I declared that I had asthma because I would wheeze. And we would make great efforts, and fortunately I had a great excuse because my wife actually was asthmatic, which made it even worse, bless her. Then I could take her asthma pump, and it got to the point where I was able to even buy and convince people that I needed one myself. I'd even convinced myself, and it's absolutely quite amazing how once I'd stopped smoking, this asthma went away. But there was a very, very real reason there. And that was a bit of a scare when I think back. The wheezing should have been a clue as to what's going on. Other people, sadly, may know people with emphysema. May know people who start having circulation problems. There's a number of related diseases that we're all aware of, and you're not here to be preached to, but just think if any have come close to you, or come close to your heart, or closer than they should have, or are maybe a little bit niggling to you at the moment. You need to take a moment and to think about it. So I've got here the symptom or the incidence, and then the person affected. And that's an interesting one, because is that person affected the person that it happened to, or is that person, could it also be me? I'll leave that with you. All right. So now I've gone through all of this, and it's been quite in a lecture format as such, but I hope you've been able to follow the process up to now. Of course, you can always rewind, you can retrack, and you can use these templates. They're very, very helpful. Now, what is my motivation to stop? I've had clients crying, once they've realized what this is. And this is more difficult to do. So just think of, you wrote down the benefits, you wrote down what you don't like. Now list 3 benefits that would happen, or that would become effective in your life. Why do you want to do this? Because you can't just say, I want to do it, because it's been however many years, some of you 10 years, some of you 5 years, some of you 25 years, and you haven't done it. It's the same as there's no point showing smokers pictures of cigarettes with lungs falling apart, because what does a smoker do when he gets a bit of a fright? He has a cigarette. So I'm not sure that these scare tactics work. But I want to look now at the positive side of it and say, what is my benefit? What is my benefit if I stop smoking? Are these benefits that I'd like to see my children grow up? I'd like to play with them. I'd like to run outside and kick a ball. Are they, I need my health? Are they, I'd like to get back into the sports team? There's untold. Everyone has their own motivation. But you've just been through a process, and there's been a number of thought starters that have been subtly introduced. The hypnotherapists out there and those people who deal in the world of suggestion would have followed me very carefully in how we have structured this conversational and this process where you've led your client to this point. So now this is the very serious part where you sit down now and you go, okay, dude, time to look at it. So now you look at it. And then you list your benefits. However, there's always that one thing that we call my primary gain. And this is the hook. This is a hook. What is your primary gain? So let's look at what those three are that we listed, that we wrote down. But what is my primary gain? And your primary gain could be any one of those three. Invariably, it ends up being something like I am in control, or you're not going to kill me. Sadly, it's harsh, but it's true. So identify here that primary gain and take some time out to work on that primary gain. Now let's look at getting rid of our craving. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach ourselves how to stop smoking. Nicotine is part of the curare family, which is part of the blow dart family, the drug they use in blow darts. So it's effectively a paralysis drug. And over time, this builds up, and so we tend to become more lazy. But it is addictive, and it is addictive in the sense that it is a poison and it's a foreign substance introduced into the body. So the body releases endorphins and it releases adrenaline to fight this. As you know, our bodies enjoy that in some form or some way, but it does create, as you would know from your hypnotherapy training, it creates anxiety. It creates an anxiety in waiting for the next relief. This is what that craving is. So when we started smoking, we had to learn how to smoke. We had to learn how to build up our resistance. So too do we now have to learn how to wean our resistance and how to strengthen our resistance, which we'll do through a process of what we call kickoff sessions. So this is not about cutting down. This is about helping us prepare and to know what to expect and how to deal with nicotine withdrawals. Normally we do this for 2 days and then we follow up with our next session. Some people might find that this process can go on for as long as 10 days, but it's very successful because you have prepared people, and as you've gone through, you have followed these advanced techniques we've been using. You've been following the cognitive, you've been following my conversational hypnosis, you've been following my thread. So the first stop smoking period on a day is between 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning. You may smoke before then, but you may not smoke during that time. So let me just clarify that. You may not smoke between 8:30 and 10:30. So there's 2 hours. How you deal with that? Maybe some people use NRT. I don't mind how you do it, but obviously we can never accept responsibility for that, but people have had good results. What else? No smoking between 12 and 2. Yes, that's very common at lunchtime, but it is one of the triggers and one of the areas that we deliberately target. And our third one is between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. A suggestion is that you put these into your phone, make use of technology, set alarms, and your alarms go ping, ping, ping during these times, and it reminds you. There's no substitute to say, oh, okay, I want to do 9 o'clock. No, it's 8:30 until 10:30. That is a discipline. It's a discipline of I have to stop, because that same discipline is going to be required when you say I'm going to be stopping in 3 days or 2 days or 4 days, or you might wake up in the morning and your subliminal training has been so strong and so good and suggestion so good that in actual fact you wake up without the desire or the want to smoke, where you no longer have the need or a desire or a want to smoke. These times may be extended. If you wish to go from 8:30 till 11, of course you may extend them, but they may not be shortened or substituted. All right, so that's the end of part 1. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to being with you for part 2. All right, cheerio. This is Trevor saying goodbye.